Hey, what up, light bearers? What's up to my spiritual family of light bearers? Welcome back to the channel where I am your host, Brother Minister Mongoose. This is MBS Ministry for those of you who may be new to the channel. And this ministry is promoting a holistic path, promoting and living a holistic path that's designed to provide nourishment and strength to the mind, the body, and the spirit by way of information, insight, views, perspectives, philosophies, and real-world services and practices that are designed to fortify you and renew you in mind, body, and spirit. So that obviously denotes that this is a unique ministry. For the record, I am also a different kind of minister. So for more information on both of those aspects, please watch a video that's titled Minister Mongoose Introduction and Services. And even though he has prescribed and assigned me the holy name of Mongoose, there is spiritual relevance to the name. So for information about the spiritual significance of the name Mongoose that he's chosen for me, and why I believe that we all of us who carry the light, are to embrace this Mongoose mindset, heart set, spiritual set to some degree in various areas of our lives and society as well. So please check those two videos out. And please know that I do genuinely appreciate all of the love and support. Again, Minister Mongoose Introduction and Services and the Mongoose Mindset. Thanks for tuning in. I love you all. Let's get off into it. You know, with every video, I mention that this is a unique ministry, and it is. And every video, I make reference to the fact that I'm a different kind of minister, and I am. I'm not the traditional minister. I'm not grandma or grandpa's minister. I don't fit inside the narrative or the upbringing and beliefs that we believe a minister should fit in and what we're accustomed to. Today, you're about to experience some of that difference. And if you are opposed to foul, or what we would call vulgar language, this is an upfront notice of awareness, if you will, an upfront public announcement that this video may, or it may not, contain some unpleasant, what we would most commonly refer to as foul language. If it flows to me organically to do so, that's what I'll do. But I'm not going to use foul language just for the sake of using foul language. Now, if you guys have watched either of the videos that I mentioned when just a few seconds ago, then you guys are already familiar with the fact that there is a different part. There's a different aspect, a different truth when it comes to Minister Mongoose. And oftentimes, you, family members, the people that I come across in my day-to-day existence, my students, my clients, oftentimes people very rarely, if ever, get a chance to see this side that I'm referencing now. But this side is just as much a part of me as the more soft-spoken, what we would call well-mannered, laid back, perhaps you would call it, well-spoken, whatever. This part that I'm referring to now that people rarely, if ever, get a chance to see, is just as real. It's just as more organic and naturally a part of me as the me that you guys see on a day-to-day basis. So again, you may or you may not be exposed to foul language in this video. I think that whether Heavenly Father, and yes, Heavenly Father, who is in control of both sides of the chessboard, yes, He will guide my words. And whether they're complimentary, whether they're challenging, whether they're intellectual, whether they're ebonical, whether they're straight and clean, what we would call clean language, or whether it's what we would call foul language, He is in control. These are all just sounds to Him. Nothing has a meaning in and of itself until we, be it our personal selves or the information that we were taught growing up, until we assign it a meaning. Which is to say, someone could call you a bitch, someone could call you a hunky, someone could call you a nigger, and you would be totally fine with that until someone tells you what it means. They assign that meaning to it, and then you become offended. But Heavenly Father, in His infinite wisdom, He's not caught up into what we give meaning and definition to. He's looking at the heart. He's looking at the intent. And to Him, it's just a sound. You understand? So whether it's foul language or more foul language or not, He is in control. It's not fake. It's not sinful. It's not wrong. You may have been assigned that belief system that it's a sin, that it's wrong. And I'm totally okay. I love you all. I'm totally humbled and grateful for your support. But if He moves you to unsubscribe to the channel, then I thoroughly encourage you to do that. I thoroughly encourage you to always follow the truth wherever it leads. But at the end of the day, I am who I am in Him, and who I am not in Him, I will never be. So now let's try and get into what the message here. There is a race of people that I'm not going to mention directly, because I don't want the channel to get flagged. But trust me, it's going to be made abundantly clear about who I'm referring to. And so before I start in on these people, who is by far and away the most pathetic group of human beings on the entire planet. There ain't enough monkeys. There ain't enough monkeys in the wilderness, in the wild, combined with those that may be in captivity. There's not enough monkeys on the planet that could come close in all of their monkey ways. They wouldn't come close to being as dysfunctional as this race of people that I'm referring to. Now you understand. So what's understood need not be explained. You know exactly who I'm referring to. There's not enough bananas, grapes, apples, ain't enough fruit in the world to feed these monkeys. Now that's a hard truth, but it's a truth nevertheless. So before I go in all the way, let me say that these truths that I'm about to set forth when it comes to this race of people. It falls under the umbrella that, first of all, according to his will, 2/3 of these people will be what we call cast into the lake of eternal fire. 2/3. So we get that. It's not my word, that's his word. It falls under that umbrella. It also simultaneously falls under the umbrella that these people have been manipulated, they've been deceived, they've been hoodwinked, and they're just a lost people. But if I'm 85 pounds overweight, and I'm overweight as a result of the fact that, hey, all I could eat was potato chips and now and laters and cotton candy. Okay, we understand that. We understand that. But that doesn't change the fact that you're 85 pounds overweight. You understand? So even though these people fall under the aforementioned umbrella, that's no excuse. That doesn't remove the fact, it doesn't cushion the fact that these people are pathetic. These people are 10, 15 degrees beneath pathetic. Another point that I'd like to make out before I move forward in this video is that under the same umbrella, the umbrella that I just mentioned, the 1/3 of this group of people are the true kings, queens, princes, and princesses that will forever be among his chosen people. The 1/3. And these are the people that, whether they're in what we would call the ghetto, middle class, well-to-do class, it doesn't matter. They're standing on standard. They're standing on a standard of what it means to be a part of this group. What it means, and it's not their skin color that determines it. It's their attitude, their conduct, the way they comport and deport themselves, their mannerisms, the things that they're hoping for, the things that they're believing and striving for. This is what makes them truly about that race and not just their skin color. And to those 1/3, I salute, I celebrate, and I honor. Because it's not easy for you guys. But whoever said it was going to be easy? No one ever says, hey, be easy. Everybody say, be strong. So such is the great workshop of life. And again, for the 1/3, this message is not for you. As a matter of fact, you, to some extent or another, you agree with the things that I've already said about this pathetic race of people. And you see it and you experience it. And you know what it means to have love and forgiveness and compassion and understanding and tolerance for these people. The 2/3 that the good book says will be cast into the lake of fire. You know what it means to want to help them. You know what it means to have compassion and empathy for them. But based on the way that they metaphorically spit in your face, chop you in the chest, kick you in the throat, knife you in the back, throw you down a flight of stairs, and then jump up and down on your head as if it was a trampoline, you don't have any more room or any more time or interest in trying to go out of your way to assist these clowns. these people that wish they were decent enough to be clowns. You see that they're full of self-hatred, and that the only enemy that they want is an enemy that looks just like them. You have committed to saying, hey, Heavenly Father, if there's somebody that you want me to help amongst those people, then make it plain to me, make it clear to me. But as far as you going out of your way, you know that it's a lost cause. It's a lost cause. These people are dysfunctional, and absolutely no one on the planet respects them. And the reason is because everybody on the planet can see that they don't even respect themselves. It's cool to raise your sons and your daughters to be what, spoil. And we know, that's a term that's used loosely. But these buffoons think it's cool from a literal standpoint. It's cool to raise your daughter into this twerk, being about the twerk culture. It's cool to raise your son to be about the you say something about me, I'm going to get my gun culture. This is nonsense run amok. And as a person that you can see the skin color, it doesn't give me any joy. It doesn't give me any pride or any honor to blatantly call these people for what they are. Damn fools. 10 to 15 categories beneath all out idiots. The women, the children, and the so-called men. Remember, we're talking about the 2/3 of these people. These monkeys, these apes, gorillas, orangutans, chimpanzees. That every time something happens to any other race of people, their first words out of their mouth is, let's be fair. Let's give them a chance. Everybody make mistakes. But when something goes wrong or something is amiss with someone of their same race, it's time to pull out the rope and the lynches and the, let's stick it in. Let's not just kick a man or a woman when they're down. Let's spit in their face. Let's jump up and down in their face. Let's kick them. Let's set fire to them. No one even has the 2 + 2 level common sense to say, okay, hold on a second. No other race of people is fair to us. Every other race of people says, hey, when they're this certain race that I'm talking about now, they don't deserve a second chance. They did it on purpose. That's their culture. That's their nature. And so what makes that much more jacked up is these dumbasses who are a part of that race. They take it to a whole new level. No, massa. Let me whoop him. Let me beat him. Because I'm going to show you, massa, how you really beat him. How you really stomp him out. This is so ridiculous. It would be sad if it wasn't so funny. And it would be funny if it wasn't so sad. And I'm willing to bet my hard-earned money that the overwhelming majority of the 1/3 that are committed to realness all across the board. Realness when it comes to their culture, realness when it comes to knowing who they are, realness when it comes to standing on business, standing on a standard. The overwhelming majority of the 1/3 lives in what we would call the hood. Most of these jackasses that have found their way out of the hood are working and got enough income to be just out of the hood, and certainly those losers who have worked their way or cheated or connived their way to an even higher status of what they think is a higher status in the societal totem pole. These pricks don't have any idea of what it means to represent that culture. But they always get that occasional reminder that no matter how rich you get, you still a part of that race. And when you get down wrong, or if there's a way for us to, or for the system to knock you back down and give you that reality check that no matter how much money you have, no matter how much education, how much success, how much property, this system is looking for an opportunity to remind these dickheads that they are still about that race. They truly are amongst the lost 2/3. The majority of what we would call real, you know what, they're in the hood. And that's not to say the hood is that way. I'm talking about the 2/3. I'm talking about the 1/3. The majority of the 1/3 is in the hood, but that still means the remaining 2/3 is a part of the hood too. And these dudes and these women have no idea. Not only do they have no idea of what it means to be a part or be about that race, they have no idea what it means to even be a decent human being. Now, I'm just calling spades spades. And like I said, I'm 100% faithfully confident that the brothers and sisters of this race that are amongst that 1/3, they know that what I'm saying is true. Because they deal with it. Somebody trying to go home and get their gun because somebody stepped on their shoe. Somebody trying to go home and get their gun because somebody looked at their woman. Chances are, based on how the women are, she was looking at him anyway. So I was just moved to put this out there because being a senior citizen who came up in a time to where, I've done the gangbanging thing. I did the gangbanging thing for quite a while, and thanks to him, I made it through that because I was deeply entrenched in the gang and all of the direct and the nuanceical endeavors and actions that gangs partake in. You understand? So being a senior citizen, even though we came up in those times and we gang banged against one another, there was always this sense, this element, particularly for those of us who, unfortunately, like myself, had several stints in both the juvenile and the adult Department of Corrections. Even though we had that warfare amongst our own selves, we learned that, okay, just like a family, you may fight against your brother or your sister, but you be darned if somebody else is going to get involved. And the minute somebody else get involved, you unite like brothers and sisters do, and you take this race, same race that I'm talking about, you take that race and they unite and they stand up against these other races who was trying to pick them off one at a time. Knock this gang off, knock that gang off. So we had the God-given knowledge. We had the old schoolers teach us that, hey man, that may be your enemy or your adversary, but that's your adversary and your enemy over there. But not these losers nowadays. If you are in a neighborhood or a environment where these so-called clowns have worked their way out of the ghetto, they are the absolute worst. And I'm not going to even paint all of them with a broad brush, but I feel faithfully confident when I say that the overwhelming majority of them are disgusting. It's shameful to be amongst that race when you're out in society, and you would think that these would be the people who realize, hey man, that silly stuff and that race against that same race, you know, that idiocy don't even amount to being for the birds. Like that's less than something that you would say is for the birds. But no, these people are hateful, envious, jealous, angry, and they will try to do something to a brother or a sister that happens to be amongst that 1/3. And you know, I come from a different generation, man. And I'm also going to say that 1/3 of this group of people that I'm referring to, I'm faithfully confident that the overwhelming majority of that 1/3 that's in the hood, or maybe they've made it out of the hood, whatever. I didn't say all, I said the overwhelming majority. The overwhelming majority of that 1/3 are above a certain age group, because these little clowns that's being born now, these guys are so insecure, so weak, so emotionally fragile. It doesn't matter if they're 8, 7, 15, 25, maybe even 35. You can't criticize them. You can't be driving a better car, have a nicer looking woman or man. You can't be doing nothing without hurting these clowns' feelings. And they just start what we call hating, but it's not just a term. Like, they start hating. And you see the hatred in their eyes, and you feel the hatred in their vibe. And you know that if that person could catch you in a dark alley or something by yourself, no witnesses around, and they could inflict harm on you, that's exactly what they do. Because they're so afraid, they're so jealous, so insecure, and so bitchified that that's what they're about. And this is retarded. And I just was moved to call it out because I see it on the regular. I see it on the regular. The effeminization of the overwhelming majority of the males in that group, and the bust down thought, whatever they call it, nature of the overwhelming majority of them that's a part of that race. The way they dress, the way that their whole claim to fame is how well they can twerk, who can wear the most nastiest, raunchiest outfit, who could get the guy with the most money and sleep with him, never mind if you liked him or not. Well, he chose me, and even though he didn't want me, he just wanted to, jack me up that night. He wanted to, split me for that night. He chose me over you, so that makes me better than you. And again, I'm not the only one out there seeing this. I'm not the only one out there calling this out. So you can take this message for what it's worth. And if you're a black man, or if you're a part of that race, if you're a male or a female, and you have not succumbed to that death culture, that dysfunctional culture, You're very special. You're very strong. You're very wise. And it's just a matter of time before he comes back and busts the system wide open and you get your promised land. Because just like the 2/3 are condemned to eternal fire, the 1/3 is his chosen people, and he has promised that he's coming back to establish his kingdom right here on earth. So keep on being strong. Keep on being dignified. Keep on being courageous. Keep on walking in wisdom. Keep on keeping yourself protected by way of him. And let the losers keep on losing. Let the soft keep on being soft. You see them when they just look at you as a grown man and they roll their eyes. Or she look at you, and because you have integrity, maybe you're a happily married man, or that's just not your thing. You're a man of the God, you're a man of the Lord, or whatever. She just don't turn you on, whatever. Because she comes over there with her nasty, disgraceful, inglorious ways, and you don't pay her any attention. You don't jock her. Now she wants to say you're slow. She wants to say you're a lame. No, it's just I'm not into that, little Miss Retard. Turn your game up. When you coming around a real man, and this is, again, I'm not the only real man on the planet. Let's just be for real here. And obviously I'm not the only real man that's a part of this death race that I'm talking about. But when you go across a real man, and you're one of these little bust downs, one of these little thoughts, we don't care about how skimpy you dressed. We don't care what your butt looks like. We don't care how you lick your lips. You can do a split until your private parts hit the floor and roll down the block. We don't care. You're unworthy of attention. Instead, when you do that silly shit, a real man don't get turned on. Instead of him getting turned on, he start feeling like he got to go take a shit. That's how disgusting you are. And if you one of these little hoe-ass dudes who are daily contributing to the pussification of a nation, and you walk around an OG or a real man that's a part of this race, we don't care what your car looks like, what your gun looks like, how much weight you can lift, how many girls is on your arms, how many chains on your neck. We looking at you like, dude, grow the fuck up. You a hoe ass nigga. And if you cross a certain line, one of these real people that's about that race, they'll smack the fuck out you. And you better know what you're doing with your gun, because one of these real men that's a part of that race, they'll take that gun from you and make you wish that it was a fucking Snicker bar. So we ain't moved by that little loser ass mentality. And for those of you that may be watching this and you're a part of a different race, again, you know exactly who I'm talking about. I want to encourage you guys, those of you who have the light, I want to encourage you guys to make sure that you're walking in that light. Because the way these jackasses have kind of set the standard, if you will, when it comes to them being some hoes, some bitch ass dudes and all of this, when you come across somebody, when you come across one of the members of the 1/3 of that race, and you know he's just not with the bullshit. And so when you try to treat him like, you know, oh, he one of them losing ass type of people, they don't, no one respects them. They don't even respect themselves. So make sure you're walking in that light to where you don't disrespect that person, or if you do disrespect that person, or you just unintentionally fall into that mindset that, okay, that's one of those people that don't even respect themselves, so fuck it. And then maybe you aren't as proper or as polite as you would normally be. And then that person stands up and set the record straight. You have to be on top of your game to know, okay, like one of the things that we get that are amongst that 1/3, one of the things that we get oftentimes is that, we think we tough. And we get that because we won't let nobody bully us. Now you take 3 seconds and think about that. So he or she thinks she's tough because she won't let none of them girls bully her. Make sense? I think not. And you understand. And I begin to wrap this up. It works both ways. For if you are a female and you see one of the sisters that are a part of that race, but they're a part of that 1/3. There's a story not too long ago about these sisters who were amongst the 2/3 of this race. And they had been partying all the time with this outside race. And they were, again, being a part of the 2/3, they were conducting themselves as tramps, sluts, immoral, do anything, shake their booty ass bitches. And so they was partying with this outside race. And some kind of way they encouraged one of their friends, may have even been one of their relatives, who was kind of in their group or maybe related to them, but she was a member of this 1/3. And so they took her to this party where this other race was so used to these retarded ass bitches conducting themselves in a certain way that lacked dignity, integrity, and morality. And so when the sister who went to the party with them stood on her honor, stood on her dignity, said no, she's not sleeping around, she just came to party, the first thing they said is, oh, she thinks she all that. She thinks she better than them. And the dudes that was at the party and the old little trifling ass bitches that took her to the party, they all contributed. And they beat this young lady, they raped this young lady, they drugged this young lady, and they threw her off of a balcony. Maybe a 3-story balcony, and literally killed her. Just because she was standing on standard. She was standing on principles. She was standing on something that was unfamiliar to them, and they took it as, oh, she thinks she all that. So I'll finish with that, man. To those of you who out there that carry the light, make sure that you're keeping this mindful, because even though we carry the light, we may slip, we may not be operating at our absolute best in different moments, and that's what Heavenly Father is for. But let this information encourage you to say, hey, let me zoom out for a minute. Is he really trying to be tough? Does she really think she's better than everybody? Or is they just standing on a standard that we're just not used to people from that race standing on? So I'm well over 30 minutes, man, and I'm going to get out of here. And so for you clowns, or you, I don't even know what to call you, man. For you buffoons, you guys, it's shame on you guys. The men and the women, for raising your children like that, for continuing to promote that mess. You've had teachers, you've had scholars, you've had information, you see the truth about society, and you consciously get up and choose that retarded ass way of living. Shame on you. And his wrath is on you. So instead of you walking upright like a human being, Don't even sloop forward and walk around on all fours like an ape. Don't even do that. How about you just crawl around on the floor like the slimy, grimy fucking maggot that you wish you was decent enough to be. That's what I got for you, man. So I warned you guys up front that I may go there. It was organic. It was all natural. There was no additives. There was no preservatives. And you got a chance to witness this other side of Minister Mongoose. I humbly request all the time that you guys check that out. This is not your mom and pop's kind of ministry. I'm not your mom and pop's kind of minister. If you do your etymological research on the word minister or ministry, then you would come to a higher understanding. Not saying that you don't already, but you will come to a higher understanding about what a minister is. And it's not something that we say, oh, they should walk like this, they should talk like this, they should dress like that. You see how I dress. Now you see how I talk sometimes. You might catch me listening to some 85, 88, AC/DC, Pink Floyd. Some straight up rap music. I'm not married. You may see me hollering at females or flirting back from time to time. I'm not that minister that you have been brought up to think a minister should be. You understand? And I did give you guys a disclosure that, hey man, this part about me is just as real as everything else. As a matter of fact, this part about me is the core of what I am. It's like a lion. When you could take him out of the jungle, but you can't take the jungle out of him. And you could put him in the zoo or on some isolated land, and you could teach him how to love you and feed and give him milk and all these different things. But at the end of the day, he's still a lion. You understand? Remember, it's not Clark Kent pretending to be Superman. It's Superman pretending to be Clark Kent. The core of what that person is Superman. The core of what I am and what I'll always be is the person that he has raised me to be. A person that envelops all of these experiences, all of these challenges, all of these hardships, all of these seasons of doing people wrong and these seasons of people doing me wrong. And then evolving to be able to channel that into a presentation that would align with Clark Kent. You understand? So again, let me get out of here. If this was offensive to you, let me take the time to make sure that I do not apologize. He is in charge, and all I can be is what he has created me to be. And I encourage you to do the same. So hopefully, I'm faithfully confident that this message was edifying to you. I got to get out of here. If you'd like some more information about some of the steps that you could take if you're a light bearer and you come across these people that you may be treating unfairly just because they treat themselves like maggots, or you may come across someone that's a part of this race that's amongst that 1/3, and maybe you're viewing them as being arrogant. Maybe you're viewing them as being a tough guy, tough girl, and they're really just standing on standard, and you're not accustomed to it because nobody from this race, or very few from that race, actually stand on standard. So if you like some information about that, if you're one of the brothers or sisters that are part of that race, that's a part of the 1/3, and you like some information, some insight, some prayer, and all those different things about how you can remain strong, keep moving forward, and all those kinds of things, please contact this ministry by way of an email at realdealmunoz@gmail.com. Please know that the services that are provided by this ministry consist of philosophical counseling, ISSA certified fitness training, and clean-hearted spiritual teachings and practices. All of these services can be provided to you right here online, and I also evangelize. That's right. This is an evangelical ministry, an evangelical holistic ministry. So I travel throughout the United States. If you're interested in prayer, all that, anything about the services or the possibility of recruiting me to come to your city, your state, your neighborhood, please send me an email. I'd also like to take this time to encourage you guys to visit the physical fitness branch of the ministry located at mountfitnessmbs.com. And if the Holy Spirit moves you to give back to this ministry, please go to my Cash App. If He moves you to make a monetary donation, that is, go to my Cash App and make that donation at $EXPLICIT. Other additional ways from which you can support this ministry, a lot of these ways are mentioned in the video titled Ministry Support Options. And of course, you can give back to this ministry by subscribing to the channel if you aren't already subscribed, and by every single video, taking that less than a second that it takes to be sure to hit that like button and the share button. That way you help grow this ministry by way of the YouTube algorithm, making this ministry available to service even more people. And when you hit that share button, then you pay this fruitful message forward to all of your social media family. That's what I got for you guys. That's what I got for you guys. Leave me a comment. Let me know if this message resonates with you, if you disagree with it, or if you're indifferent all around. Either way, that's what I got for you guys. I love you all, man. But the truth is the truth. And the world continues to fall off the cliff into the dark abyss because no one's or very few people is calling this stuff out. Well, I'm here to call it out, man. I'm here to call it out. And I'm not the only one calling it out. So as always, I encourage you guys to be smart, be sharp, be strong, and be safe. Be happy, be healthy, be humble, and always be courageous. It takes all of these things in order for us to fulfill our God-given king-building assignment. That's what I got for you guys. I look forward to seeing you in the next one. I'm out of here. I am Brother Minister Mongoose, and I will holler back. Peace.